Welcome back to Proxy, everybody, and today we have a tabletop simulator game with me and Dead of Night. How you doing today, Dead of Night?
Good, Proxy. It's been a hot minute.
It's been a while since we've played last, huh? I was the old Dark Eldar, you were the old Eldar, and you gave me a right spanking. And
Yeah, it
that was
sounds. Yeah, we got a grudge match, huh?
yeah, when I didn't know much about Tabletop Simulator, and I was definitely, Sky Splinter Assault had just come out, basically, and I was trying that detachment, and wow. The Eldari have a good matchup into the Sky Splinter. So I'm seeing if it's any different with the Reaper's Wager. And actually, we're going to be running the Reaper's Wager on one side of it, and Dead of Night is going to be piloting the Armored Warhost. He loves the Armored Warhost, everybody.
I absolutely love it.
He just
Absolutely
goes
love it.
crazy about it. So we're going to have a game, and just see what happens. I mean, obviously, I'm not the hugest fan of the Armored Warhost, although I do think it has some fun tricks, and I'm looking forward to what Dead of Night has come up with his brilliant and crazy mind. So, we are going to be playing Search and Destroy for our deployment. It is going to be prepared positions as the mission rule, which, as you guys probably know, it's just that we can target our battle line units with the go to ground and heroic intervention stratagems for 0CP, which is really good for me. And Dead of Night, we'll see if it's any good for you in just a second. And for our primary mission, of course, it is Burden of Trust, which means on our primary objectives, we're just choosing a unit that is quote-unquote guarding it, and if our opponent kills that unit, then they deny us 2 extra victory points. If our guarding unit is still alive in range, within range of an objective, we get 2 extra VP. So just basically normal stuff, but we have a unit that's guarding it, and if it survives, we get 2 extra VP. Really good for those really stupidly tough armies out there like Custodes. Not so good for Eldari armies, so, we're probably going to not be scoring too many points on that. But we'll see.
We have all the tricks, though.
Yeah, exactly. We have the tricks, which is the important part. Now, looking at my army first, we're going to go ahead and scroll over here to my Reaper's Wager list. Now, this is a list that is a little bit different than what I showed you guys the other day. And basically what I've done here is I've taken a few units that you guys in the comment sections have been praising and that I wasn't a big fan of. So starting over on the left, we do have a unit of Scourges. They're modeled with Haywire, but they actually do have Dark Lances. That's just simply because there's no model on Tabletop Simulator for the Scourges with Dark Lances that I can find. For our characters, we are going to have Drazar because he is awesome. We're going to have a Death Jester because I want a lone op in the army that can sit on an objective and kind of do stuff in secondaries and all that. Death Jester is pretty decent in this detachment. We have an Archon with the Arc Raider. This is this one right here. Has the Arc Raider enhancement, which gives him Scout in his transport. We have an Archon with the... I can't remember exactly what it is. I'm blanking on what it's called, but the enhancement is, let me go ahead and check here and get the right name for you guys. Of course, the Conductor of Torment. So that's the one that allows me to flip who's winning the wager with a pain token. I have the Troopmaster. He's going to be joining Quins, of course. I have a Solitaire, and that is it for my characters. 6 characters, of course. Drukhari love to be a little character heavy. We have 2 units of Mandrakes. We have a unit of 5 Harlequins with all the good weapons. We have a unit of 5 Incubi. We have a Starweaver, a Venom, and a Raider. We have, of course, the Court of the Archon, which, again, you guys suggested in the comments after I gave it a horrible review in the unit tier list. Just because, honestly, I don't personally like the unit. I've never seen the point of the unit, but I'm going to try them out today. I looked at them again. They are very tough. There is a little bit of a trick that I want to kind of pull off with them. We'll see if it happens. And, yeah, so they're decent. We have a unit of Coblite Warriors, of course. They're going to be split by the Venom. We have 2 Chronos, 2 units of 2 Talos. Talos are armed with the Liquefiers, the Gauntlets, and, of course, the twin Haywire Blasters in their tails. We also have a unit of 10 Hellions, which is another thing that I wanted to really run. Just a fun unit of Hellions. Normally, I'd
Seems
say these
sketchy.
guys are...
That seems
Yeah.
sketchy.
Well, I mean, a lot of people don't like the Hellions, right? But in this detachment, I actually think they're one of the better better units just because they get sustained hits base, you can give them lethal hits, you can give them advanced shoot and charge, which is exactly what they need to be good. Because before it was a big issue of, oh, they can't get into charge range fast enough, they're not really fast enough to move around ruins and still charge, they don't really hit hard enough because they don't have anything against, anything that's higher than toughness 5. And now what you have is...
Can't wait to deal with the Green Goblins.
Yeah, the Green Goblins are cool, too. They're one of my favorite models.
Oh, yeah, they're super cool.
Yeah, I used to have a unit of 10 of these back in the day in 5th edition, and they sucked then, unfortunately. I still loved them, though, and I ran them in pretty much every list because they were so fun. And they had this fun mechanic in 5th edition, if anybody out there remembers. The leader of the unit could use his grapple hook to drag a character out of a unit when you fell back, which was insane. So, little funny story about that. I charged a 10-man unit of these in 5th edition into an Abaddon squad. I killed most of the Terminators except for like one Terminator left in the unit, and my buddy was super excited that Abaddon would get to, fight and kill a bunch of models. Of course, Abaddon proceeded to roll a 1 on his demon weapon, which basically, back then, you hit yourself in the head with the demon weapon. And then I dragged Abaddon out of the unit screaming and butchered him. And it was just so funny. So yeah, Abaddon is the ultimate failboat in just 40k in general. But yeah, Hellions are really cool. So yeah, that's the army. We'll see how it works on the tabletop. Reaper's Wager again. If one side of my army is losing the wager, they get rerolls of 1 to hit and to wound. So that's pretty good. A unit that's winning the wager doesn't get anything, but, if a unit kills something, then they are automatically winning the wager and the other side is losing. So we'll see how I manage that. I don't have that many Harlequin units in my list, but I have quite a few that can hit pretty hard in combat, and we'll see how it goes. Now, Dead of Night. Your army is the Armored Warhost, and you're taking something a little bit different than what I've seen. You're taking... Well, go ahead and go through your list and talk about why you brought what you brought.
Well, I'm a weirdo, so I kind of always take weird stuff, but I've been getting really into the tanks lately, and this attachment came out, so I was super pumped. I've been playing around with it, religiously trying to figure out how to make it work, because I know nobody else wants to.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I've been taking that duty. And this is kind of like a third variant of it. My third variant of it. I found I like the prisms in it. Moving and advancing, you can link fire still. So like it gives you more angles, more windows to shoot things.
That's really
throughout the whole army with all the tanks, which is really cool. Triple Falcon boats. I've been loving this. They split targets so nice. And even if they're all, I like to run together too. Like, oh, here's 9 shrieking cannon shots at this squad, 3 bright lances here, 3 9-pulse laser shots over here, and they can get really wild with their damage too.
Yeah, Falcons are pretty strong.
I've tried to orient them more melee focused. So Karandras and Scorpions, of course, they hit like a truck. I originally tried Jane Czar and Banshees. I kind of like them, but a little bit of a points investment. So this game, I wanted to try out the Solitaire and see maybe how that works. I think it could be neat, and I think this particular Falcon is a good candidate to be a Deep Strike Falcon.
Nice. 6-inch Cloud Strike or Rapid Ingress or something like that, yeah. For sure.
Yeah, like a Rapid Ingress sort of situation, and the Solitaire can get out and go get after it.
Nice.
They're running Assman and the boys in a Falcon, and oh my god, probably almost like it as much as Karandras and the Scorpions in a Falcon. So I highly suggest everybody try it. Just know your Dire Avengers are probably going to shoot just one time, that's okay, because then Assman's going to go in and just murder everyone.
Yeah, it's really just about Assman, isn't it?
It's wild. Oh, yeah. But, I mean, if you happen to get, a shot off and then a free Overwatch randomly, like, hey, that's a lot of shots out of a Falcon,
Absolutely. Yeah, plus Overwatch for free, right?
Yep, exactly. So, yeah, so It's you get what? You got 18 shots and then 6 off of a sermon, so it's a decent amount of shots just coming out of a falcon.
Yeah, it's absolutely good.
Run a solo Viper. I've kind of played around with maybe running 2 or 3 of these. I think 2 is probably a good place, but at least one I feel is needed. It just totally turns on pulse lasers,
Right.
and we have a lot of them, and it turns on your shrieking.
Absolutely.
The rest of the stuff, they dragons and the prisms, they don't really care as much. Disperse shot does care, which is cool. Kind of that's a whole other thing. Like the 2 prisms gives you got 4d6 dispersed plus 9 shrieking cannon shots. So there's a lot of shrieking cannon quote unquote shots throughout the list. Well, plus the wave serpent.
Right.
Running Autarch on foot, cheap boy, points, problems kind of thing. Farseer Skyrunner. Well, excuse me. The Autarch also has the stratagem where I can pick up 3 tanks,
Absolutely.
3 vehicles, and redeploy them.
You absolutely need that in this detachment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a must-have. So I'm rocking that. It's 15 points. Like that's nothing. Like it's perfect.
Yeah.
Probably one of the strongest one, I'd say. Then the Farseer has the one where I can let one of my vehicles hit on 2s.
Right. Oh, interesting. So he's not a lone up. You're not giving him the lone up one. Okay, interesting. Just found you probably didn't need it, huh? Just hide him. Really.
Yeah, because basically, if one of the tanks is getting smacked, they're either gonna A, blow up and die immediately, or the last 2 turns of shooting. Right. There's like not much of an in between. So healing D3 doesn't matter to me much.
Right.
The rerolls though, the hitting on 2s, excuse me, helps combat losing our Eldar reroll. Mm-hmm. Because I'll put them near a couple Falcons. One of them's hitting on 2s, the other one gets guided. Okay, mm-hmm. Then you can stratagem the other one to reroll a hit, wound, and damage roll. Right. So all your Falcons get rerolls or like enhanced shooting buffs of some kind. The prisms, they have their built-in reroll. And then our Wave Serpent has a twin-linked Bright Lance. So, throughout the list, that's kind of how we fight losing the reroll. It's not perfect by any means, but it helps.
No, that's big brain, man. That's big brain. I like that. That's some good strategizing right there. Because, to be honest, when I ran Armored Warhost with the Wave Serpents and everything, I found that I was missing a lot of the times with my Falcons, and it's probably because I didn't have +1 to hit,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I've tried 2 Farseers. 2 Farseers seemed pretty good. I gave the other one the heal buff, and I was doing that. Then you get extra guide. But I've been trying to, save those points and put them elsewhere because I don't know if it's necessarily needed to have 2.
Right.
The big point sink of this entire list really is the Wave Serpent Fire Dragon Bomb I've been preaching.
Yeah, the make or break of the list. Does this actually work? So it's
really nuts.
This is kind of nuts, dude. When I heard this the first time, I was like, dude, what? So just explain it for the viewers here.
So we got our Wave Serpent, of course. It can fit 12 models. I run Fuegan with just a 5-pack of Fire Dragons. And that is mostly for the purpose of being able to flex them in a Falcon if I choose. Or, however, it's just nice to being able, game dependent, to switch up your transports and what you got going on. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the main reason I split them up. And also, it's an extra unit of bodies to deal with. So they could operate a little more independently, which is nice.
I agree. I don't think there's any point to putting them in a 10-man, really,
Yeah, so, that's the other way I kind of fight the rerolls is I got a bunch of Phoenix Lords, so we're hitting on 2s all over the place.
Right.
So we got 10 Fire Dragons. Both Exarchs have pikes. I know it's not kind of represented here. And then Fuegan with the 1. So you got 3 pikes in this Wave Serpent. And then we put Eldrad with them. And we doom whatever. The biggest, baddest unit we could find. We doom it. And then we just absolutely destroy it between the Fire Dragons, Flagon. We even have randomly Mind War. We get the shooting off of the Wave Serpent. We get Grenade. We get Wave Serpent Mortal Wounds from the Shield. There's a stratagem, and this kind of my bread and butter with it is you can move, advance, and then disembark, and that turns your Melta threat range into bananas.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It can fly
Yeah,
across the
you're moving 20, disembarking 3, Melta 6. You know,
Right. Yeah,
and
it's
that's
extremely good. It's extremely
right.
good. I was telling
It
people
does.
that,
It's very fragile, obviously. You know,
right.
but it does whatever it reaches out and touches explodes.
Well,
And generally, what I've been doing is the follow up of that. You have to deal with the guts of these 3 other falcons. Like
right. And also, Fuegan revives himself, so you have to
Wagon
deal
does
with that.
revive too. So yeah, it's like a big. It is a big point sink, but like whatever you want dead, you can get there and you can blow it up.
That's a good strat. I like that. I like that hard-hitting Death Star right there. That's really cool. All right, so that's your list, and it's a little unorthodox, but it looks awesome and it looks well planned, which is what I like the best. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut out and we're going to deploy, and then we'll meet you guys back in deployment. All right, everybody, so here we are. We have deployed our armies. So I'm going to go over my deployment first, and then I'm going to go ahead and give Deadofnight the chance to redeploy his units, because remember, he does have that redeployment enhancement, and I will also, let him talk about his deployment. So here, basically, I have a Talos on the flank, unit of Talos. I have a Raider with the Court of the Archon, Coblite Warriors, and Archon. They're going to be trying to move up the board, maybe stick some objectives. We have the Incubi with Drazar in the Venom here. We have the Starweaver with the Troop and the, of course, Troop Master. We have the Kronos, the Solitaire, right behind this wall here to give some heroic intervention if need be, but probably not. We have 2 Talos here for decent Overwatch with flamers, liquefier guns, and the haywire just to keep Deadofnight honest in the middle. And we do have a squad of Hellions. To be honest, the squad of Hellions is probably a little bit of a mistake deploying them here, but this deployment really doesn't allow for them to go that far outside of that without being useless all game. So definitely didn't want them like back here or something. So I'm just taking the risk, throwing them up there. We have Scourges behind this wall back here. We have a Kronos back here, and we have our Death Jester just holding the back line. And that's it. Oh, and yes, and we have Mandrakes. Of course, we have a unit of Mandrakes here on the side out here, and we have a unit of Mandrakes here behind this wall, just for some secondaries as they come. Okay, Deadofnight, you can go ahead and redeploy your units and just talk about your general strategy when deploying.
Fortunately, I feel like this one's really tough for this attachment because you're pretty tucked in a corner with your parking lot. So, but we have things where we can put some of these vehicles in deep strike with this redeploy, which is cool. And I'm thinking about doing that with one of the tanks. But one of my main things I want to do here is I have this Wave Serpent Bomb. I want to switch it with this Solitaire Falcon. Basically, I felt that Proxy cannot really kill this Wave Serpent on turn 1 if he goes first. So I think the best scenario is to put that one up front because that's where the bomb is. Which means this Solitaire one, we're just going to flip-flop them.
Big brain play.
And then the last one I want to do is, honestly, I just want to I want to measure real quick. I think I can do it. Maybe not quite. Actually, we can move over this terrain freely, right?
I don't know. I think so.
It's 4-inch.
It's less
Yeah, it's
altimeters,
4-inch.
right?
Yeah, so we can just fly over that bad boy.
Yeah, I
Cool.
think so.
So basically, I'm just gonna pack this prism
Yeah, it
up
only looks like
here.
it's 2 inches up. I may be completely wrong, guys, but I think it's only 2 inches up. I think you could just fly over it. Fuck it. You know?
No, yeah, you
Correct
can
us in the
definitely fly
comments
over.
if we're wrong.
No, you can fly over that stuff for free, 4 inches.
Okay. Makes sense.
And that was my flippy floppies.
Alright, there we go. So there's your 3 units to deploy. You redeployed the Fire Prism a little bit, redeployed this, and the Wave Serpent. Okay.
Yeah, the idea with the Fire Prism was to maybe get a lane on the Hellions. With a little dispersed shot.
Yeah, that makes sense. I totally get that. You may be able to get it from on this objective.
But also get presence on that objective / that side of the board.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Remember, I do have mandrakes.
That prism's on a death wish. I understand that.
Yeah.
Like I understand that.
No,
but that's. But also, if you go first, that prism's fairly safe.
Yeah,
I'd say.
I don't think I can shoot the prism.
Yeah. So.
Alrighty. Alright, so we are going to roll over first turn, and then we will come back. Alright, everybody, so we are going to roll for the first turn. We are going to drop our dice in the box on 3, 2, 1.
Oh, Deadofnight, turn 1!
I don't think I've ever gone first against you, man. Ever.
You want it? Oh, we can't do that anymore.
No, we can't. We've already rolled the dice.
We can't anymore.
You should be prepared for both scenarios. Okay, so I have the infiltrate, the scout move to think about. So let's see.
Yeah, let's get there. Let's see what you got there. A little more hiding potentially, or I feel like aggressive probably isn't the move with me going first.
With you going first, it's not gonna do. So we're just gonna kind of stay there. I don't think you can target anything anyway because I'm not over the ruin footprint. So we're just gonna stay there for now. Alright, we're back, everybody. We have finished moving for Dead of Night. Now, Dead of Night drew Marked for Death and Sabotage. I picked the rearmost units for Marked for Death, of course, because, that's what you do. You don't give them the points if you can help it. So, the Chronos, the Death Jester, and the Scourges are going to be the Marked for Death targets. Dead of Night moved up here. Now, you want to go ahead and explain why you did the things you did?
First off, I did draw Assassination also. I pitched that one for a CP. And then drew Marked for Death. Yeah. How unfortunate. That's a great turn 1. Anyways, we're doing Sabotage with the Scorpions. I figured that was the best play. I don't think he kills the entire shebang there.
Right, so like what he did was he used the advance and disembark stratagem with the Falcon to put these guys into a position where they're both safe and they can score Sabotage. So that was smart. Big brain right there. And
actually, Proxy, looking at it real quick, I want to move this other Scorpion on this side because that'll move. Actually, it doesn't really matter, probably.
It matters, but
yeah, you're right.
Whatever.
Never mind. I tried.
No worries, man. They're there sabotaging away. Okay, so you moved everything up, man. You moved everything.
Yeah, I moved up. So what I've kind of decided is Proxy does have some solid anti-tank, but he doesn't have a lot of it. So I wanted to present him a lot of targets while being able to pick apart what I can angle here, his Hellions and his Talos. Maybe I'll get rid of some of his Talos here and save some of the anti-tank fire he has. And then the other goal is to shoot these Hellions to death. So I feel like they'll just eat all my infantry alive. And I got the prisms kind of set up for that.
Yeah,
I got everything everything angled on shooting the Hellions to take them out. Yeah, just kind of this whole blob of stuff.
Who's out in the open that I kind of had to just leave out there because of deployment. But yeah, you can definitely see that Hellion. I don't know if the Talos die, but you definitely have a chance to shoot.
We could take one out, yeah.
Yeah, you have a chance to take one out.
So this whole thing's nothing crazy. It's just like a move up, try to kind of pick apart this flank a little bit and survive the clapback. I presented a lot of targets. I'm on all the middle objectives, so Proxy has to make decisions, and hopefully it makes the wrong ones.
We can only
But
hope.
that's kind of the move phase.
All right,
We're
yeah,
gonna
it looks
shift cover
pretty
on the
solid.
Hellions with the,
Looks pretty
you
solid.
know, I don't know.
All right, we'll go into the shooting phase, and we'll catch back when, Dead of Night is done killing me and destroying me.
Hopefully, one time.
All right, so welcome back. We are at the end of the shooting phase now, and Dead of Night has killed all the Hellions except for one, with one wound left. Just little Hellion over here.
Close,
Just
so
the
close.
beast of the hour. And then also killed a Talos, of course, with a Falcon and I guess a Viper. But, I mean, yeah, the Viper did actually come in handy because it removed cover from them. So, and
We
Farseer.
both rolled very poorly, and it turned out average. That's
Yeah,
basically what happened.
exactly. It turned out exactly as you would expect. So, lost the Talos, which was expected, and lost
I'm
all the
definitely
Hellions.
hyper aggressive right here, and I provided Proxy with a lot of decision making. I only dismounted the Scorpions, so I still am pretty mounted as well. So if his decision making is weird, my dismounts could be weird against his things. Definitely could be an interesting
It's a
game.
lot of interesting, considerations to make, especially with the wager going on and the different stratagems that I have to manage and stuff. I am going to get 2 CP at the start of my turn, and it depends what my secondaries are, but yeah, we'll just have
Yeah,
to wait and see.
yep, I got you on overload decision making right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, we'll be right back with my movement phase. Alright everybody, so my first turn consisted of drawing Storm Hostile Objective, which was originally defend Stronghold, but unfortunately, can't score that on round 1, so I cycled it out, got Storm Hostile Objective, and I also got Cleanse. Pretty good objectives for the first turn, honestly, considering, what basically transpired. Dead of Night is controlling all the mid objectives, so these are 2 actually really good objectives for that. So, in my movement phase, I went ahead and moved my Death Chester out of here. I moved my Scourges out to be able to either shoot the Falcon in the middle of the table or the Falcon on the left-hand side. I moved my Mandrakes out here. My Mandrakes are going to chill there. This Hellion that survived is actually going to cleanse, so it's great that it actually did live. It did pass its Battle Shock as well. The Talos moved out here, probably just going to, support something with its Haywire Blaster. I have a Chronos here. I have 2 Talos on this side, probably just going to shoot support with some of their, Haywire. And we got an advanced Starweaver up here. Didn't quite get the advanced roll that I wanted, but that's okay. It's right there. It's chilling. We got the Troop out of there. We got the Solitaire out of here. I actually used the stratagem to, say basically no Overwatch on the Solitaire, which protected him from a guided Fire Prism, potentially killing him. Had to think about that one for a second, honestly. And the Raider did advance forward, so I did use my 2 CP to make sure that the Raider could advance, shoot, and charge. And I got the Raider from back here to here. Alright, and that's basically it. That was my movement phase. We'll see what I get done with shooting. I'm thinking I'm going to kill a lot of stuff, but who knows. Oh, and lastly, I spent a pain token to flip it to the Drukhari winning the wager because I want to, open up with rerolls that aren't.
First,
Yeah.
Proxy, I do want to add. Looking at this, your turn, your move phase, at least from my standpoint, I feel like you did very well. You played very conservative, and also you're in position to really cripple some things potentially, but you're also going to score points, and that's exactly what you want to do in your first turn, especially going second. So I think I don't think there's much. I don't think there's many more things you could have done in your first turn to do better. I guess, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it personally any ways that I could have done better. The only thing I wanted to do, I ended up rolling double ones on the Solitaire's Blitz, which
Yeah,
sucked.
that
I was
you're
hoping
right. That was
for
cruel.
I
That's
was
just
hoping for
cruel.
a 7 so that I could do this and move.
Or maybe a 4 or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. I was hoping to actually charge the Autarch Wayleaper because Dead of Night's Autarch Wayleaper does not have the Howling Banshee mask. So I was hoping to get in there, but unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. No big deal, and we just move on from those, right? So, yeah, he moved over here instead, and he probably killed the Farseer Skyrunner, which is still a pretty important piece in your list, so I'll take it.
That's a super, super important piece, honestly.
Absolutely. All right, so yeah, Harlequins are winning the wager. Drukhari are going to be losing the wager, which means they're going to start out with all the rerolls. And because I only have 2 pain tokens right now, I think that's really where I need to be. So we will catch you guys at the end of the shooting phase. All right, guys, welcome back. We have finished the shooting phase. A little bit of an interesting shooting phase. I personally am okay with it. I think I killed a good enough amount in my shooting. So we took out this Falcon in the middle of the board. The Solitaire came out. We also killed the Solitaire. The Harlequins over here actually did some wounds to the Viper. I was hoping to kill it and flip the wager, but it didn't happen. So the Viper actually exploded onto the Solitaire, the Farseer Skyrunner, the
Go wild.
Fire Prism, and the Mandrakes. That was wild. So did a mortal to each of those. That was kind of cool. We also... What else did we kill? Oh, we did a few wounds over here to the Falcon. We did 4 wounds with the Death Jester, which was kind of nuts that we actually managed to do that, but he rolled kind of bad with that, and we managed to do some wounds to this Falcon. 7 with a stray Dark Lance from the Coblite Warriors within the Raider.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spicy.
Yeah,
Spicy.
It was pretty spicy. I'm kind of happy with it. Personally, you know, yeah, it could have gone better, sure, but that wouldn't have been average dice, so dice worked how they were supposed to work. And at the end of my shooting phase, I'm going to go ahead and move back my Scourges, just like this, back here. So
You know, Proxy, I feel like, honestly, so far, dice have been pretty average.
Yeah,
which is
I
weird.
feel like
Which
they
is
have.
weird, in my experience,
It
with this
is,
game.
dude, especially against me, man, because, like, in our previous games, it was just like a slaughter, man. Like, the dice were just...
I wasn't trying to talk about that. I wasn't trying to talk about that part.
Oh, dude,
You know, I was trying to just, leave that one behind.
Leave that one in the closet.
War Spider Exarch for days.
Dude, that was I will never live that War Spider Exarch down. That, like you said earlier, that became
his name was Julian.
No, it was Lycus, man, in disguise, dude. That's what it was. Rolling double 6s on Overwatch all day long. All right. So we'll get back to you guys with the, I guess we could call it the charge phase and, fight phase and stuff like that, and we'll see where we are. Personally, I think I'm going to go ahead and just try to charge my Quins into the Fire Prism, try to get some damage on that, charge the Solitaire into something here, try to get some kills on the Farseer Skyrunner, and, we're cleansing over here, so that's not, going to be relevant, but, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Alright, everybody, so charge phase went to be expected for the most part. I did kill the Farseer. I did do a good amount of damage to the Fire Prism with the Solitaire. Didn't quite kill it, but it is engaged in combat. And over here, unfortunately, the Talos didn't do a thing, and the Raider charging in didn't do anything too, but they are wrapped up in combat, which does present some, kind of inconveniences for my opponent. And that is it. That is it, ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on, Proxy. I think the spicy thing you failed to mention is you waxed 2 of my characters, important ones. The Farseer Skyrunner and the Solitaire.
In the turn,
very important targets.
I did kill, yes, absolutely. The Solitaire and the Farseer Skyrunner are dead.
I think the biggest thing in doing so, though, was you really exposed yourself in your turn.
Absolutely.
Which, if I have a good clapback, it might be detrimental, but I guess we'll see.
I think it's just going to be, it's going to be a back and forth game for sure. I think Reaper's Wager plays very aggressive. You want to be aggressive with the list. And if you don't, if you aren't aggressive, then you're just not going to kill enough to be able to actually win. In my opinion, my view. But, I'm still learning this detachment, obviously. Its pros and cons and stuff like that.
Yeah, same.
I mean, for Armored Warhost, it's the same way. It's like you can't. I mean, how many times were those rerolls? Like you're missing those rerolls. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah. All right, we're gonna go to Deadofnight's turn. Oh, and end of turn, of course. I have to also mention that I scored 4 points on cleanse, and I scored 4 points on Storm Hostile Objective. So there is that. I did score on that, which is good.
You forgot to mention that you smell because you're Dark Eldar.
I am a smelly Dark Eldar enjoyer. Yes.
Okay, okay. Just want to make sure we got that in there.
Back in a couple minutes with Deadofnight's turn 2. All right, everybody, welcome back to Deadofnight's turn 2. He drew behind enemy lines and Storm Hostile. I think behind enemy lines is probably going to be a little too hard this time around because of how the deployment is. But Storm Hostile Objective definitely in his sights.
Getting super unlucky with secondaries so
Yeah,
far, which is
secondaries are
okay,
good.
but what that usually means in your first 2 turns, as far as I understand it, is the rest of the game, the secondary should be a little bit
Yeah.
better in my favor.
Yeah, and plus, think about
Since
this.
they were so
You
rough
can
at first.
always discard it and get a new one, right?
For sure.
So, you want to go ahead and go through your turn a little bit and see where you moved and stuff? And
Yeah, so basically I was trying my best to ensure I kill as much of proxy things as I can this turn, because I feel like that's the biggest goal. My secondaries were poor, so we want to kill models. Kill units, kill models. I brought the big bomb over here to just take care of my weak flank. I felt if I take care of the weak flank, he doesn't have much to follow up through, because I'm going to also try to take care of his Talos over here, or at least one of them. So to me, putting the bomb over here, yes, the Quins are here. I'm going to also try to work on them too with Dire Avengers and such, to make sure this is all cleared out. So I brought the bomb over here, clear it all out, make sure the bomb is somewhat safe-ish still. So many points over on that flank. And then try to clear out the middle, and if I could do all of that, the rest of the game should be my favors, I think. But that's a lot to ask, I'd say.
I think you can do it.
On the other side, the biggest thing with tanks is you have to move them so they have multiple targets. Because if you're shooting things, on one side of the board, but you had the target with something on the other side of the board, well, now all of a sudden you lose your target. No, especially with tanks, you want multiple targets, especially with Falcons, because they have 3 different shooting profiles. They want to see all kinds of different things.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, and that's probably why I'm super aggressive with my tanks, honestly, is I want them to have all the targets available they can, because that gives me the most options.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more with that.
That's kind of where I'm at. I just disembarked, the big bomb over there, disembarked the Dire Avengers. My right flank's kind of weak right now. I'm thinking the Scorpions can take out this Talos in the middle. If not, maybe charge whatever the guts of the Raider are. But, I'm pinstering Proxy in the middle here with Scorpions and Dire Avengers. And tanks. Like, I got them kind of circled around in the middle, which I think is cool. Fluffy. Super fluffy.
Yeah.
But,
it's looking like a banger here. Who knows what happens in the shooting phase, but I'm thinking you're gonna hit pretty hard. Stuff is gonna
I whiff
die,
it all.
and yeah, we're gonna have to pray to Kamara, the muses, the dark muses.
It's all fresh, yeah.
All right, we'll be back at the end of the shooting phase for you guys for a wrap up on Deadofnight shooting phase. All right. So we are at the end of the fight phase for Deadofnight. It was brutal. So first of all, a lot of shooting happened. Eliminated the Raider. Guys got out, charged in, killed almost all the Court of the Archon, but through the skin of my teeth and Assman's just utter ass rolling, they managed to survive.
Yeah, he has some dust in his eyes, I
Yeah.
think.
I will say this, though. Fights first on the Court of the Archon. You guys told me it was good, and I didn't believe you guys, and now I'm a believer, because Striking Scorpions charged in, and the Court of the Archon slapped them down and killed Kahandras. So that was pretty insane. We also lost, unfortunately, all of our stuff over here. Solitaire, Troopmaster, Mandrakes, all dead, which did make sense. You know, I mean, nothing is going to be able to stand up to Fire Dragons. They're just,
Let's talk about how
tough.
let's talk about how the solitaire died though.
Grenade. Grenade to the face. Which makes sense. That's how he always dies, right? If it's not a grenade, it's like he's getting gunned down by bolters or something like that. Solitaire, I mean, he didn't make up his points worth quite, but he did okay. He did fine.
Not bad, not
Yeah,
bad.
he didn't do bad. Actually, you know what? I think, between...
You put so much pressure over
Yeah,
there.
he had to do something, right? I kind of messed up. I think, in hindsight, the Solitaire should have just stayed back here. He really didn't contribute that much, but, live and learn. I was really aggressive with him and probably shouldn't have been. He killed the Venom, so Deadofnight killed this Venom over here. Guys got out untouched, though, which is nice. And then he did, of course, like I said before, killed the Raider, killed 4 Mandrakes over here. And I think that's it. Am I missing anything?
No,
Killed
I
most...
killed a bunch. I feel like you have a strong clapback here. You know,
Yeah,
I think by the end of your turn, well, probably by the end of my turn 3, we'll really be able to see what's going on. But
agreed. I
depending
think...
on your depending on your clapback here, I feel is the real
Right.
story of the game.
Exactly. I
My
think it's
my
going to be...
secondary so far have been also very poor though. So
Yes, that's true. And I think you did get unlucky, like I said, with Assman and stuff. You will take some objectives, though, right? So you have... I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 OC on this objective. You have a lot more OC on this objective than I do. So you're definitely going to take that objective in the center. So you're going to get a score on Storm Hostile objective. You're going to score this objective over here next turn when, because I don't think I have anything to take this out. We'll see, but I don't think so.
it'll be tight,
And
maybe.
yeah, it might be a bit tight over there. Over here, technically it's a tie right now, so I don't score on it anyway. But I could get battle shocked and not even score it. So Deadofnight denied me 3 objectives in the middle. The only objective I have is my home objective, but at the same time, the only objective that he's maybe going to have next turn is his home objective. We'll just have to see. All right, we'll be
Yeah,
back
I
with
ended
this.
up I ended up with like Storm Hostile on
Yeah.
that one.
Well, Storm Hostile's good. I mean, that's a good
Flying
card.
enemy lines, I did not quite get. I don't
That
think,
was going to be hard, I think. That was going to be
Yeah,
hard.
that was tough for that round.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think you did everything you could. You forced as much damage down my throat as I could take. And unfortunately, I was just able to handle it, a little bit too well. Just like Lilith can handle, you know, a little bit.
Honestly, looking at the board, I feel like discard that as well here at the end of the turn.
Yeah, yeah. I think discard it, get rid of it, because you're probably not going to score it again.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can maybe get Baby easy, but
yeah. Get a C. Well,
it,
you've already got a
it's
CP, but you might as
no, but
well.
it's better. I'm better off fishing.
Yeah, you're better off fishing. You're right. Go fishing. All right, we'll be back with my turn 2 in just a second. All right, everybody. So we have brought ourselves into the bottom of battle round number 2. It is my turn. I drew Engage on All Fronts and Assassination. I'm hoping to get Assassination either by killing a Zerman or killing Eldrad. Either one. Eldrad's a tough cookie, but he's certainly not as strong and tough as he was last edition, so hopefully we can bring him down there. And we also have Engage on All Fronts, which I don't know if I'll get. I think I'll get the minimum out of that, the 2 points. But we'll just have to see. We'll do all the measurements afterward, and we'll see what we got. As for where I've moved the Scourges out from here, and they're going to either shoot this Fire Prism in the middle here, or this Falcon over here, depending on what I need. We brought the Mandrake and Hellion back here, so they're just hiding on this objective. The Mandrake, unfortunately, failed his Battle Shock, so he's not going to control the objective. But if I can kill the Falcon, and the Falcon doesn't explode, and kill them both, which might actually happen, then hopefully I can get that objective the next turn. We moved our Incubi up in order to do battle with the Dire Avengers in the middle. We moved our Death Jester out just to see if we could, poke some shots into this Falcon over here. We also moved our Kronos out just for a little bit of extra firepower there, maybe knock off a wound or two of something. We moved our Talos up to be able to wipe out this Fire Prism. And we have brought our Kabbalite Warriors in from reserve with the Archon. This has the, of course, Conductor of Torment. I was going to leave him kind of in reserve, but honestly, we haven't been really needing the Conductor of Torment all that much, so we're just going to go ahead and just not use it. And we have a Starweaver here as well. That is going to be staying still, because I don't want to get overwatched by these Fire Pikes over here that could easily one-shot it. And I think that's it. Oh yeah, and the Court of the Archon failed their Battle Shock test, so they're just going to be in melee, and they're just going to have to stay there, unfortunately, and fight it out. So at the end of the shooting phase, I'm going to check back with everybody, and we'll see how much we're able to take out. Okay, right. So we're back. Some stuff happened. Basically, in a nutshell, everything that I shot at just died. I rolled 6s. For dev wounds out the wazoo. It was nuts. The Death Jester went crazy on dev wounds against this Falcon over here. Did a bunch of wounds to it. Then I miraculously shot it with the Mandrake. This Mandrake right here is an absolute hero. He shot it, did 1 wound to it, and then charged it and actually killed it in combat, the Falcon, which was insane. Never seen a Mandrake do that. Over here in the middle, the Dire Avengers technically are still there, but we just didn't bother moving them. They're dead. Drazar and the Incubi came in, cleaned up. Azurman, unfortunately, died to the Talos afterward. Talos shot into combat over here with the Falcon, ended up killing it. It had 1 wound left, which probably, I mean, maybe should have happened, but it was a 50-50 dice roll, essentially. These Talos came over, killed this Fire Prism. I think the really unlucky thing was when the Scourges came up here.
The really unlucky thing was, I don't know, about the 76s you rolled to Proxy.
Well, some of it was overkill, but I will say this, the Fire Prism over here shouldn't have died. I don't think this Falcon should have died at all. And I don't think Eldrad maybe should have died just because I shot a lot of stuff at him, but then I made a charge with these Kabbalite Warriors, a 10 out of reserve, and killed these Fire Dragons, which was, I shouldn't have made that, There was definitely things that I rolled really lucky on, for sure. And then, of course, my pal Deadofnight didn't roll well on at all, Bad rolls on saves. Fire Prism didn't make either saves
first
here.
Turn, didn't do anything.
Yeah. It was unlucky. First turn... Yeah, I mean, your second turn, right? Because your first turn, you killed a bunch of Hellions, which made sense. I mean, you should have killed those, right? You killed the Talos. You killed probably what you
killed a lot more, though, on turn 1.
On turn 2, he got really unlucky with rolls, that's for sure. And I think part of that is because this is Armored Warhost. You don't get the reroll to hit and wound. I think that hurt.
Oh, hammer goes sometimes, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was a couple of other things, just like me rolling 6s on invul saves for, like, random Taloses. Like, oh, hey, take a Bright Lens shot to a Talos, you need a 6, and I roll a 6, right? So there are definitely situations.
You're a pretty classy fellow, I'd say.
Well, thank you. Thank you, I am. I'm a Dark Eldar player. I'm a Dark Eldar enjoyer. Of course I'm classy. No, honestly, it was a mix of bad luck on your part and good rolls on my part, I think, over the, turn 1 and 2, like the bottom of turn 1 and the top turn 2, I think, really kind of probably put the nail in the coffin for you. Especially this bottom of turn 2 is like the nail, and I think it's just because I have a ton of
I also don't think I was built to go first either.
Yeah, perhaps not. I think your army really does want to go second. You don't have Wave Serpents. You don't have Scouting Wave Serpents, so you don't want to really use... I don't want to say you don't want to, like, go forward like you did, but I think when you don't have
really
the rolls to back it up, that can hurt.
Well, yeah, rolls are good. Anything.
Basically, Yeah, if you're not gonna roll super well on your saves and stuff when you're out in the open, you're gonna get hit pretty hard, unfortunately. Also, yeah, just in general, I think that fire prism killing that was really lucky. I didn't expect to actually do that with the fire prism there, so lucky break for the Dark Eldar player. But yeah, what do you think, man? What do you think of the Reaper's wager so far, though, in terms of like lethality? I didn't really get to use too many of the
Right,
stratagems
that's
for
what I'm
game
saying.
one and two.
I wish we could have seen more of it. Really,
Yeah, I think the
I think
main,
I do think we're 1-1 now. So we're
yeah,
about due for a third game.
yeah, we're gonna have another game, man, for sure. I think honestly, I made a few mistakes in deployment as well. That that kind of could have cost me the game if we didn't have such a wild west of sixes and fives there at the end. Um, the Hellions, I think, obviously didn't do well because they got shot off the board turn one. I think I have to deploy those different. I would say to myself, if you can't deploy them, just put them in reserve, put them in strat reserve. Like, that's fine. That's better than them dying turn one. Um,
Playing,
you know,
yeah, playing this sort of game for my detachment makes me sort of think maybe I should try some Reapers and Falcons as well.
interesting.
With a little, like not all of them, but like maybe one or two, just and have like some super range Falcons.
Right.
To,
Also, by the way, I thought what you probably should have done, I think you were a little too conservative with the Wave Serpent because I know you were saving it for some clapback, but I think you should have just you threw everything else up
I didn't
there.
have any targets on turn one
You
really
got the
though.
Talos though, the two Talos behind the. You could have bombed them out. I think that would have
I,
been a great move.
I did attack them though. Like I did attack them, but
Yeah, you
nothing
killed
happened.
one of them, but what I'm saying
Yeah,
is you could have killed both of them, right? And you could have killed the Hellions permanently if you.
and then all that shit immediately dies.
Well, that's why you would bring out the rest of your stuff behind so that whatever comes up, set up your Dire Avenger unit to Overwatch. You could have easily taken out um, the Incubi or if I tried to get out of the
I
Venom,
tried
right?
shooting your transport. I tried shooting all your things, and nothing happened.
No, you killed it. I mean, you killed the Raider. You killed that stuff. Took a little longer than you thought because I rolled a couple sixes here and there, but yeah.
Yeah, I know that. The goal is to shoot the things on the inside too.
Yeah. You almost killed that unit. I will say this. I was surprised the Court of the Archon survived as long as it did. I did forget to go to ground with it, which I could have done, but oh no, you know what? Never mind. They were battle shocked. Couldn't have done that. I forgot that once you destroy transport, they can't do it. So yeah, I don't know, man. They were a little tougher for you to crack than you thought, but that is probably just because of the -1 to wound and multiple wounds that the squad has. I think you should have killed him, though, to be honest. With a Zerman, I think a Zerman whiffing when he charged in was just horrific. It
Real
was
bad.
horrific, bro. Yeah, and I also am thinking to myself, like, battle host rerolls, man, they really do come in handy. Like, and I think you probably should have used more CP on the stratagem that allows you to reroll hit, wound, and
I think that
damage. You
I think
should
the
have.
battle reroll would have really changed this
It
game at all, though.
I think it would have. I think it would have killed more stuff. I think you definitely would. Because there was a few times where you whiffed, like on your rolls, and it was like you
Yeah, but
had
how many
one
times are you
hit,
gonna whip on your
you
rolls?
could have turned that into two hits, and that would have like made a difference. Um, I think Battle
Not this
Host
game. I would turn
possibly
into two
would.
misses.
Yeah, well, the advance and shoot helped you on turn one. I think the Armored Warhost is really good with a turn one Alpha Strike, with the advance and shoot and stuff, and the rerolls to advance rolls. I just think that later in the game, the rerolls do help. Um, but I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm completely looking at it wrong. I think honestly we'll have to do a rematch and just see kind of, and maybe I can go first, and we'll have to see if that changes things a little bit for your list. I think that if I go first, your list does do a little bit better because it can advance and shoot and charge, or not charge, sorry, disembark. because of the stratagem, right? So that's a big play right there that I think would be good.
I'm
Um,
also I found a lot about too of just a lot of Dire Avengers and Falcons,
right.
just to have that like anti-infantry
Yeah,
shooting.
because you have three Falcons. You have a solitaire in one of them, and I don't think the solitaire needs to be in there, man. I think you should probably just deploy him normally, because that's actually what got him killed. That he was in that Falcon, you know. Because I wouldn't have been able to shoot him if he was like behind a wall somewhere. Like I would not have been able to touch him at all.
OG list had Banshees and Jane Czar in that Falcon, which also seemed
Yeah,
fun. Which probably in this matchup would have been better for me.
yeah, I agree. I think Eldrad, unfortunately, having to kind of be wasted a little bit on this side of the board also kind of hurt because it didn't allow you to.
What characters died early?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
all folded pretty early, I'd say.
yeah. I mean, hey, it's bottom of turn two. It hasn't even been that long, you know. I think if the rest of the game played out, you could probably kill a few more. I know next turn you can definitely kill these Talos right here. I know you can definitely kill probably one unit on this objective and probably wipe up these warriors, these Kabalite warriors, with the Wave Serpent and perhaps something else. But yeah,
Still out there running around.
yeah, I mean, you have Fuego, dude. You have the ultimate beast himself who can revive himself. So, you're definitely controlling one objective for at least another turn. I just don't think, long term, you just don't have the units, unfortunately. I think Armored Warhost is very Alpha Strike, but if you can't get the Alpha Strike on your opponent, it just kind of folds quick. And I think maybe that's what happened in this game because, yeah, I mean, I
No.
rolled sixes, I rolled those
I mean,
saves.
yeah. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, I'm taking full accountability. I rolled saves. I rolled saves on my guys. I passed saves. You didn't kill as much as you should have,
Did not roll
which,
saves, also.
um, yeah, and you probably, again, this Fire Prism shouldn't have died. Like, there's no way this should have died. A lot of it was dev wounds. You wouldn't have gotten saves, but this Prism, unfortunately, was a casualty of dice gods,
If that Prism and that Falcon lives, I'm still in the
It's a better
game.
game, yeah. I agree. I totally agree. I think you're in the game if those two things live. They should have lived. I didn't expect to kill those models. I was actually expecting to just try to tie up those models. Like once I had killed a Zerman's unit, I was hoping to just consolidate into it, maybe try to, you know, make you burn some CP, but that would have been it. And you still would have been able to kill stuff if you had those models left. And definitely if you had this Falcon left, you're scoring primary points. You're, being able to wipe up my Mandrake. Probably kill my Death Jester, to be totally honest with you. Um,
Oh yeah.
you know, so yeah, I definitely think that there was some play there for sure if those things survived. Absolutely, absolutely. That's the first time a Mandrake has ever done anything like that. So
First and last.
yeah, first and last, probably. Yeah, probably, man. Okay, well, we're gonna have to get a rematch, and obviously, I think you're a great player. We've played before, and by the way, guys, I haven't put it up on the channel, but there was a few games before this where like I got smoked by by Deadofnight, just totally like destroyed. Remember that Yinkarn game where your Yinkarn just started running through all my Dark Eldar units?
Why do you always have to play Dark Eldar Proxy?
Well, because I want a Dark Eldar versus Eldar game, man. I can play Eldar. I just think it'd be a little boring.
Oh no! I agree.
You
No,
know,
it's always Dark Eldar,
you
my
gotta. I
man.
gotta give you
That's
a
wrong.
rival, man. I gotta give you the
Well, crush the
antithesis right
Marines,
there.
bro.
I mean, if you want me to play Space Marines and make a fool of myself, I definitely can.
Kinda. After those rolls.
Well, here I'll play IG for you. I know they're not as OP as they used to be, but I'll play some IG for you in the next game and see how you do.
Hey, maybe soon. When's the new book coming out?
The new book, man. Probably February. I'm guessing, right? February.
Everybody's thinking February, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously Armored Warhost is going to be way better in the Codex. I think right now it's just an
Oh,
awkward
if we have
setup.
if we have battle focus, it'll be
It'll
ridiculous.
be so good, bro. Like I don't even like I was trying to tell people that in the last video I did with Armored Warhost. Yeah, I'm not impressed with Armored Warhost right now, but I will be impressed with it when the Codex comes out, like with Battle Focus. I think that's going to be awesome. And honestly,
That
like
should be
your
done.
list, your Armored Warhost list seems like it could really do some damage, really get some work done. Um, Unfortunately, just didn't have the rules to make it work this game.
Yeah, I want to keep toying with it. We're gonna get her there,
Yeah,
but yeah, I think battle focus should make it where it needs to be for
yeah,
sure.
absolutely. Probably throw the solitaire out of there. I'm just thinking like throw him out of the Falcon. Doesn't need to be in there. Put some, some meat in there in that third Falcon, and I think you're good. Honestly, I love the Fire Dragon bomb. Unfortunately, you had to divert it this game, but if you were able to get, a key on some Talos and some like heavy, like
Well,
chunky units, you
the
would have done
the
some
thing with
damage.
the thing with the bomb, that bomb though, it doesn't really like you don't really have anything for it to target that's
Yeah,
like
Dark Eldar,
prime, you
right?
know.
Agreed. Yeah, Dark Eldar, it's not as good against, I don't think. But even Talos are they're 160. They're
Knowing
good.
that, I probably should have just split them in the Falcons at that point.
Probably. Yeah.
Put a bunch of melee in the Wave Serpent.
Yeah, perhaps. Or just put the Solitaire in the Falcon, just keep or no, Solitaire in the
The
Wave
Wave
Serpent
Serpent.
and just
Yeah.
keep it back and then use it as a
Yeah.
counter punch.
Oh, things to think about.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Well, I can't wait to see your new reiteration of the list. I'll try to bring something similar, but also a little different in the next game.
Yeah.
And any closing thoughts or anything like that about the Armored Warhost or the Reaper's Wager or anything like that?
I think both are super neat. I do think both need, yeah, once the new book comes out, I think it'll change the armored one for sure. I maybe some more time on the Reaper's Warhouse though.
Hmm.
That I don't know. I don't know if what you're running is like I feel like you have way less Harlequin sort of models than
Yeah, I think I do want to toy around with more Quins, to be honest. I think
you know.
also I think I misplayed a little bit with the Solitaire. I shouldn't have run him out. He didn't really do all that much for me, you know?
You
Um,
know.
so yeah, I probably misplayed a few things.
Yes, but no.
I mean, yes, I misplayed the Solitaire, but no, it didn't end up mattering. Yeah,
and that's why or the Death Jester, yeah, Death Jester's so good though.
I think he's a good. People tell me
When he
he's not good,
spikes, he's nuts.
but he spikes. Yeah, that's the thing. Like he's alive pretty much the whole game, and yeah, he doesn't do a ton of stuff, but he has a 50% chance of getting 6 attacks in this detachment, and I think
I'd
that's
say
decent. You know?
I'd say he has a 95% chance of getting his points back too. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like
absolutely. Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, I mean, I gave him the Webway Walker enhancement because I had extra points, but he didn't even need that. He's a 90-point model base. He doesn't need
Yeah.
that. It's deep strike essentially, but who cares? Um,
Right.
I just
Yeah,
did
he's
it
got the
for a point
range.
filler. Yeah, he's got the range to do anything he wants to. 24 inches is pretty good. And yeah, he can do some dev wounds and some stuff here and there, finish off some models, or spike if you're lucky.
Yep. Yep.
And he's a lone op. It didn't matter in this matchup, but in other matchups where you need a lone operative on an objective, it could definitely be useful.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I think the Reaper's Wager is really cool. I want the Armored Warhost to be really cool too, but I think it's just missing a little bit of spice. I think it needs just a little bit of spiciness in the Codex to truly bring out a bunch of crazy shit.
I think it could be super spicy. One of my thoughts was just shoving Wave Serpents with Wraith Guard
Oh, interesting.
and
Yeah, I've heard about that.
and
That
just
could be
like
good.
just going hard on that.
Dude, that could be really interesting,
And
actually.
I feel like that'd be super obnoxious. Just here's
Well, because it's a bunch of
15
tough
Wraith
stuff,
Guard.
right?
like
Exactly. It's like a bunch of tough models that you have to deal with. So that would have been hard for this army to deal with, I think, outside of the incubi. That would have been pretty tough.
Super points sink, but
Yeah, it's a lot of
but
points.
honestly, you trade out a fire prism, you get the wraith guard sort of
Yeah.
situation.
You have 2 fire prisms in this list, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good. I think, honestly, this list might need some fire prisms, to be honest. But yeah.
I
I'm
feel like
just,
yes and no because like the prisms come out, then like whatever you kind of bring in their place, you can bright lances here and
right.
there.
Well,
You know
war
what I mean?
walkers are good in this detachment. If you wanted war walkers, they're pretty good. You can afford 3 of them
It
for 2
it
fire prisms.
that's a whole other like realm of this detachment I want to explore is like which probably I might do on tabletop so I might try that proxy. I won't have it in real life, but like you just play Vipers, Warwalkers, play all the small vehicles,
Hmm.
but like a shit ton of them.
Right, and they can all advance and shoot and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Give your opponent a lot of choices to make. I like that. That could be
yeah.
really good.
And right now we could still run we could run all the Forge World shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
Just
as
run
of
some
now,
Hornets
right?
too. Like
Run the Hornets. Run
Hornets have to
the
be nuts in this.
yeah. Absolutely, they're funny in this, I think. But yeah, with advance and shoot, they could be pretty good
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
can they still drop bombs when they advance?
I don't think so. I think that, but maybe they can. Let me check. Let me double check on that.
Yeah, that'd be spicy.
I think maybe they can. I think it's. Let's check. It may be a normal move, but we'll double check. The good old Hornet.
Normal move. Normal move.
Oh, it is normal move, isn't it? Yeah. So no advances, but I mean they're still pretty fast. Advance and shoot is good with them, you know? Like you can fit a
Grenade.
lot of bright lances in this. So it's pretty
That's what
good.
I'm saying. Like three Hornets, 3 Vipers, 3 Warwalkers,
And then you got wave serpents
15
with
Bright Lances. like
yeah, and you could throw in wave serpents. I think wave serpents are good in this detachment because they already have twin linked on their bright lances, so
yeah, yeah.
you know,
Yeah, Serpent Shield.
absolutely.
Just shove Guardians in them.
Yeah, guardians or reavers, corsair void reavers.
Yeah, actually, yeah, Corsairs and Warwalkers, Corsairs and Serpents and
Scourges.
Warwalkers could be wild.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that could be a fucking wild
yeah.
list. I like that idea. We should do a video on that. We should kind of theory craft an armored warhost list with a lot of MSU style units and see what we could get done with that.
Yeah, I've been all over the board trying to figure this attachment out. That's definitely a place I've
It's
explored.
definitely one of those
I've even thought
iffy.
about a jet or two.
Yeah, that could be good. I mean, you don't get any bonus from the detachment bonus really, but you know,
Jet can deep strike though,
can it?
which I think is neat, kind of neat.
Interesting.
Yeah, the stratagem.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I don't know if that's that big of a deal, but that could be, within 6. You can get models within 6, which is
Yeah,
a big
and
deal.
then they get -1 to leadership because you're running fucking.
Dude, I didn't even
um,
think of that, bro. The Hemlock Wraith Fighter.
yes.
Guys, you heard it here first. Hemlock Wraith Fighter can use its
Deep
ability
striking.
in this fucking detachment. That's fucking insane. Deep striking. That's crazy shit, dude. Absolutely nuts. Yeah, I think you have to try it, right? You have to try it.
To
Battle
be
Shock,
good.
pair it with a Death Jester.
Exactly.
Or no,
Exactly.
sorry. Pair it with Void Weavers, right? Void Weavers causing Battle Shock.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
there we go. There we go. We got this, dude. We got a good thing going on. We should definitely try that
Battle
out.
shock
That'd be
everywhere.
insane. Yeah, Battle Shock everywhere at -1. Fuck. I
No,
don't
we're
know.
playing 3 hemlocks.
God, that's not even
Three
viable.
minus three.
It's so funny. I would definitely run that. That's hilarious. All right, man.
Opponent's not scoring.
Yeah, true. It isn't scoring, but at least it's fun. Um, all right, man. Let's call it there, and we'll have to do another video soon. Um, my wrap up is just Wow. Reaper's Wager hits hard, but it definitely helps if you roll sixes. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks, Dead of Night, for joining me. Hopefully, even those, kind of based on luck there at the end, it was semi-fun for you to
I
play.
had a good time, Proxy. I
Okay,
appreciate the game. I
good deal.
appreciate the game.
I'm
I'm
always
gonna
happy
pack up.
about
I'm
that.
gonna pack up my toys and go home now, though.
All right, I'm glad for that. I had a fun time too. All right, man. I will see you next time. To all of those watching, if you do want to support the channel, join the Discord, join the Patreon, I'll leave the link in the description. It's totally free to do so. It's just you have to sign up for a free trial to get in the Discord. But once you do, you can talk to people like me, Dead of Night, and a lot of others that really like to help, newer Eldar players and just Eldar players in general who want to talk about strategies or tactics or even hobbying. I will also leave the links for my Amazon affiliate. By the way, guys, Eldar Combat Patrol is out. It's going on its way out, so, last chance to pick it up on places like Amazon and stuff like that. And lastly, I will leave my channel store page in the description as well if you want to pick up some Eldar-inspired apparel. Alright, guys, that's going to be it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.